Okay, because we just like do the productions like regularly, or yeah, in a daily basis, or just like the way the flow is regularly supposed to be. The difference is in just in time. So just in time is the other way, because in here the goal or the objective is to deliver the right amount of production at the right time. So remember here the goal is to reduce WIP inventories to an absolute minimum. So here this is the objective is to reduce inventory. So you made exactly what the customer wants you to make. So here it's often can be found in MTO or made to order productions. Okay, and in the other way or on the opposite way with MRP, here it used the pull system, because if you can go back here, like the flow is just like moving forward, but in MTO it's going to moving backward. Okay, so that's why it is said that pull system. So let's say you receive an order from customer, and then you check the raw material, and you can divide like, okay, this is exactly that we need, and then you can contact the supplier. I mean, because now you know like the quantity or the specification that the customer wants you to have or wants you to make, and then you can contact the supplier to provide you the raw material. For this case, maybe like furniture. I mean, like the specific one or the custom made, not something like you can find in IKEA, because you order the size, you order um, you have your own type of wood, for example, or another raw material. So that's why it is categorized as MTO or made to order. Okay, questions until this part? Is there any questions?
No question, Miss.
All right, thank you. Okay, moving
Miss,
on. So, yep.
I have a question related with MTO. So,
Okay.
MTO itself, you said that when the manufacturer have an order, so they will contact the supplier. So in this case, the manufacturer that make the sistem MTO should have the reliable ini ya Miss ya, supplier ya Miss ya berarti.
Yep, yep, the reliable supplier, because I mean like they know, especially for the manufacturer, because they need to know like their specification, their ability to provide the specific raw material. Okay, let's have an example. For example, like furniture. If you go to the furniture workshop and you said that, okay, I want this table with this dimension, with this type of wood, and there will be probability that the manufacturer or the furniture workshop will say that, oh, but we cannot provide you with this type of wood because it's not available in our supplier, or it's hard to find in this area. Okay, let's say. So they know exactly the specification, the material that can be supplied by their supplier, something like that. All right, Dila, that it clear? Okay, questions from Gary. Is there any case in which the company implement both systems simultaneously? Since based on the explanation, one is NTO and one is NTS. There's still possibility that they can apply both the same, but not exactly like the whole production. So for example, like in this case, like laptop case, maybe bukan maybe ya, not maybe. So there'll be scenario, for example, like in laptop, because you know that laptop is kind of obsolete product that always changing, always update because it's related to technology. So for this level, they can have the scenario for MTO. Okay, so made just by order, especially for the company like Dell, because I don't know, in Indonesia, because banyak toko-toko elektronik yang aneh-aneh bertebaran, misalnya di Ambassador Mall, but in overseas, for example, like in the United States, you only can buy Dell computers directly in their factory or directly in their stores, because they will assembly based on your order. So here in this level, they can set as MTO as well as in these. But for this level, because, you know, like bolt or screw or maybe type of glass, if we are speaking about the raw material, it can be used in common way. For example, I said that in common ways, for example, okay, we have laptop in here. Okay, for example, like Serie A and then Serie B, Serie B. Well, this is not about football, okay? But let's say dia punya dua seri gitu, laptop Serie A, Serie A. But there will be a probability that the type of the glass is the same, the type of the bolt is the same. So it means that they have to stock or they have to produce like all the time. Okay, so in this case, they will apply the MTS. Okay, because if you can imagine that there is an order about the laptop, but they don't have the raw material, or in this part, the material is not available, so it will be difficult. So that's why in this level, they will apply MTS, but for the final production itself, they will apply the MTO scenario. Clear, Gary, Dila, or maybe any other questions about MRP and JIT?
Clear, Miss. Thank you.
Thank you, Dila and Gary. Well, I don't know, but based on my experience, dulu waktu aku kuliah, MRP itu adalah materi yang paling aku tidak suka karena paling complicated. But surprisingly, waktu aku skripsi, teman-teman aku banyak sekali yang materinya tentang ini. So, I don't know, this is just based on your interest. Okay, here is the comparison. Let's say, okay, here MRP takes forecast for the end of product demand into account. As you can see, the scenario of the computer or the laptop, or even for fresh connection. Oh, so you need the forecast exactly, so you can break down all the materials that you need. But in JIT, reduce the inventories to a minimum. So that's why I told you back again to the scenario in here. Okay, so here we can apply the MTS. So you need to have the inventory for your parts, but for your final product itself, you want to keep it as minimum as possible, especially if you're speaking about electronic, okay? Because it's always changing. Maybe in this month, people will buy iPhone 12 and everything, but the next month, maybe the sales will be lower than the previous month. Apalagi setelah biasanya suka ada review-review di Instagram ya, unboxing dan sebagainya. So it's always changing. So that's why to apply JIT or the final product, for example, you have to reduce the inventory at minimum. So that's why you only produce or you only assemble if there is any request or if there is any order from your customer. Makanya kalau biasa kalian, nggak tahu sih, kalau kalian biasanya pergi ke iBox or Apple Store, and then you want to buy some MacBook, for example, and then the seller or, I mean like the pelayan toko will say that, oh, you have to indent because we don't have the stock, but you can come back again next week. We'll prepare the product for you. Yeah, that's one of the scenario about the JIT, because they don't have the stock, the final the stock of the finished good at the moment, but they will assemble it for you, and then they will send you in some kind of period, maybe in the next 2 weeks or in the next month maybe. Masuk iBox aja geter. Maaf ya kalau bukan level kamu, Ivat. Nggak apa-apa, kamu masih kuliah soalnya. Nanti kalau kerja bisa jadi kamu udah nggak tertarik lagi sama barang-barang Apple. Anyway, this is the MRP basic. So this is basically something that you have to consider. The first one is firm customer order. So here, like the order or the demand is really important and really necessary. So that's why in Fresh Connection also, I always told you that please check your demand from sales department, because as you can see, this is point number one, something that really important that you have to check at the very first place. The second one is forecast. So you have the order and then you can predict the future demand, especially if you are speaking about a trend. So you can predict in the next month, in the next 5 months, how the trend is going to be. And then you compare with safety stock requirements as always, even though for example it's JIT, but it's still okay to have some safety stocks, but not really much, like in hundreds thousand, for example. Maybe having like 100 will be okay. Okay, and here is the special case for seasonal variations. For example, something like a coat, like jackets in Four Seasons country. You don't have to produce like all the year, because people they are going to use that that kind of clothes in maybe in 3 months during winter time. And the last one is internal orders from other parts of the organization. These we're speaking about the parts or the raw material itself. Okay, for example, like Caterpillar, if you know the company, the heavy equipment company, I mean, like they produce the heavy equipment itself, alat beratnya, but they produce the parts as well. Jadi they have to discuss in internal level to have some forecast about the raw material and also the finished product. Okay, questions maybe until this part, except the fact that masuk iBox itu bikin hati dan kantongmu bergetar. Any questions maybe until this part, or you still don't have idea about the MRP? Okay, thank you, Dila. I think the information is also really important, especially if you are planning, I don't know, maybe having your internship in assembly company like Toyota maybe, or LG or something like that, or doing your FYP in this kind of things also. So I mean, like MRP is really important as well. Okay, so here the phases, we have 3 phases in general. So the first one is, okay, you know the requirement. So here I will translate to, okay, you need to know your demand. And then you create your master production schedule. So here is the phase when you break down your raw material. So this is the thing that we are going to learn today. And after that, okay, you will know that, okay, the requirement planning system. So what is exactly like the quantity of the raw material, the lead time itself, okay, and also you can consider it at the same time. Your knowledge about inventory is going to be needed in here, because yeah, you know the capacity and also the lot sizing, how many safety stock that you need to keep in your warehouse. And last but not least, you will get the final data about the raw materials that you need. Okay, and the schedule itself. There will be a lot of things. I think there will be 4 in total, 4 method or calculations that you are going to learn in this chapter. The first one here, the explosions calculus. It is said that converting the master production schedule to assembly components and raw material to produce an item. So today we are going to learn like how exactly to break down and to create the planning for your productions. Okay, 2 basics operations. The first one is time, of course, because we always dealing with time. Okay, the second one is multiplication. This is something like, well, more complex, especially if it requires then 1 sub-assembly. Okay, so there will be like more level. 1 sub-assembly, for example, like this. Okay, you have to assemble this one and then going to this part and then going to another part. That one is called as sub-assembly because it requires more than 1 level. And here is one of the examples. So here is the first one is the end item. So I would say this is the finished goods. Okay, and here is the parent level. So if you can see, if there is there's a number in the parentheses, for example, like this, it means that that's the quantity required. Okay, and here is the lead time to produce these components, for example. This is the parent level, or I would say sometimes this is the level when we assemble the components, and here the phase when we prepare our raw material. So here is the raw material, for example, like, okay, we need bolt, the quantity is 3, and to produce the bolt itself, we need 2 weeks. Okay, so here this the scenario or the way we draw in the diagram, like how to create our MPS or master production scheduling. And yep, it is also known as lot sizing, or maybe if you're familiar with this term, something that we have learned from the inventory. Okay, so how do we plan our inventory, and also like where, and this one is very related with R or reorder point. Okay, because from MRP system, by using MRP system, we know that where exactly or when exactly we need to order or we need to start producing. And here is okay, and here is the total or the whole method that you are going to learn in this chapter. The first one is lot sizing, but this is something that we're going to learn today. And silver mill heuristic, the third one least unit cost, and the last one is part period balancing. So the letter 4 you're going to learn next week. Okay, before I continue to example, is there any still questions about the basic knowledge about MRP or JIT itself? Something that not clear yet in your mind, maybe?
Miss.
Yeah.
Yang MRP rata-rata digunakan hanya untuk ini ya, Miss ya?
For what? Untuk apa? Yamin? Yamin?
Iya, jaringan saya.
Yamin?
Kedengar nggak, Miss? Suaranya, Miss?
Kedengaran. Untuk apa ya, Min? Halo? Okay, Yamin is lost somewhere. So Yamin, maybe you can type your questions on the chat box. Okay, So while waiting for the questions from Yamin, let's see the example. Oh, there is a question. Apakah MRP hanya untuk di perusahaan assemblies? As I told you, no, it's not only for the assemblies company, but mostly can be found in assembly companies. In food production, there will be also MRP. So let's speak more complex about the food production. Let's pick one okay, let's pick one thing, for example, like cookies. Okay, and here there will be another phase in here, for example, like packaging to a product, and then there'll be another type, maybe here another packaging, for example, like in kardus ya, kalau dia di ukuran box. And then there'll be some kind of phases in here, like making the dough and also the topping and etc. And here there'll be another things in here, like okay, for making the dough, you need flour, you need eggs or something. But it can be there is a MRP scenario in here, but it's not going to be really complex. It's very simple, okay? It's not really common because remember, for example, in food production, we always or we commonly find them as MTS or made to stock, okay? Because they produce the product in very big quantity, in massive production, let's say. So MRP, yes, it will be more common to be found in assembly company, especially in automotive and also electronics. But you still can find in some other companies, for example, in food production, especially the food production that require step. Jadi kayak proses food production yang banyak banget ininya ya, banyak banget stepnya. Oh, it just came to my mind, for example, like Indomie. So there will be a lot of things in here, like to prepare the noodle itself, and then bumbunya, terus habis itu kecapnya, and then other things. And here it will be divided again to several process, several raw material, this one as well. So yeah, there's still a possibility that it can be applied in not in assembly company. Sinyal Yamin kayaknya hilang. Iya, emang selalu sih kayak gitu. Okay, got it clear, Yamin? Or maybe any of you have another questions about the type or example of MRP itself? Okay, thank you, Yamin. Okay, let's see the example. The illustration is going to be long in here, so please read it as well. I'm just going to give you some keywords. Okay, so here the Harman Music Company that produced the variety of wind instrument. And okay, they want to minimize the amount of money tied up in inventory. So that's why they want to keep their demand as closely as possible. Okay, and the way to apply that thing, they can adopt the MRP system. And the product that we are speaking about is the Trumpet Model 85C. And the retails or the sales price is 800. Okay, and what else? Okay, they want to the future demand for about 4 months into the future. So 4 months, let's say we have 4 weeks in a month. So basically we need like at least like 12 okay, 16 maybe in the future. 16 weeks in the future. Okay, and here is there are 2 figures in here. I think you can also check it in your book. Okay, so figure 1 shows the trumpet and the various assemblies. So here, there are two pictures in here. The first one is the product, and the second one is the illustration of the material itself. So if we can compare these both two information, so this one is the trumpets, okay? And it is said that it needs two components in here. The first one is bell assembly. Here we can see this one is bell assembly. And the second one is valve casing assembly. So here is valve casing assembly. And then in valve casing assembly, there is another two sub-components or sub-assembly process in here. We need slide assembly, and then we need valves. So which one is valve? I don't know, but I can guess this one is valve. And this one is slide assembly. Okay, so here is the component, and here the way we break down all the informations. And okay, let's see back again to the illustration. The bell sections and the lead pipe and valve sections weld together in final assembly. So we need to start with these two things first, and then it will become like this, and after that it will be welded together, and then we are going to have the final product like this. Okay, 3 side assemblies and 3 valves are produced and fit into the valve casing assembly. So as you can see, this one will be installed or will be welded like this. And then the forming and shaping of the bell section. So the bell section requires 2 weeks. So here we have the lead time is 2 weeks. And the forming and shaping of the lead pipe require 4 weeks. Here we have 4 weeks, okay? And the valve requires 3 weeks to produce. Here we have 3 weeks, and slide assembly we have 2 weeks. So speaking about the quantity, you can see the relation between the picture and also the number behind the bracket. So here, as we can see, we have 1 bell assembly. The quantity is 1, and then valve after it being welded, it will be 1. And slide assembly and valves, as you can see, both we have 3, okay? Okay, the questions is, if we want to produce 1 trumpet, what is like how long exactly the time that we need? So if you want to figure it out, you need to see based on the level, like the longest lead time, and after that you can calculate or you can sum up both of them. So here, for example, between slide assembly we have 2 weeks, and then valves we have 3 weeks. So you have to take the longest one in this phase, okay, or in this sub assembly process. Here we have 3 weeks. So let's say in this phase we're going to have 3 weeks maximum. And moving on to the component level, for bell assembly, we have 2 weeks, and for valve casing assembly, we need 4 weeks. Take which one is the longest time? We have 4, and then it means that to produce the final product, we need at least 7 weeks in total to produce this one. Okay, because it's simply just 4 plus 3. All right, questions? This part before I move on to another illustrations. I think this doesn't point something. Oh, I'm sorry. So I hope that the red ink still helps you. Sorry if I don't know that pointernya tidak kelihatan di kalian. Okay, so this one here 4 weeks. Okay, the longest one 4 weeks, and then you have to take the longest one. In this level we have 3 weeks, and this one you calculate, and then we have 7 weeks in total to produce 1 trumpet, let's say. Questions? Is that clear enough? Okay, good questions from Gary. Why we need to choose the longest lead time? Yeah, we have to choose the longest lead time. So let's say they start producing at the same time, okay? Maybe I need to zoom in this part. Okay, there you go. Let's say they start producing at the same time, okay? They start producing at the same time and they're supposed to go to another step at the same time. Okay, let's say they start producing at the same time. Kalau kalian pilih yang paling rendah atau kalau kalian pilih yang lebih pendek waktunya, let's say you want to choose this one 2 weeks, and then after 2 weeks you moving on to this step, okay? Remember the valve casing assembly, you need these two raw materials. You need the slide and you need the valves itself, okay? Kalau kalian pilih 2 minggu terus kalian ke step berikutnya, but this one is not finished yet because it need 3 weeks, so you need extra 1 week. Okay, so how can you start working with this part if you don't have the complete raw material, for example? So that's why we choose this one. Okay, we choose this one and then we go back to here. And the questions again, why we choose this one 4 weeks instead of 2 weeks? Yes, because if you choose this one like 2 weeks, the valve is not finished yet. Dan tadi skenario-nya katanya ini berdua bakal di-weld kan, bakal dilas bersama-sama gitu. So you have to wait for 4 weeks, otherwise you cannot weld atau kalian nggak bisa ngelas valve-nya ini to the bell assembly, and after that you will not have like the final product. In this case, not to be confused with this scheduling process. In scheduling, yes, we need to find. It's always better to have the shortest period of time. But speaking about the lead time for the production, yes, you have to choose the longest one because you need to wait for all the raw materials or all the components to be complete. Okay, clear, Gary, Pangesti? You, Pangesti. Maybe any other questions? Alright then. So I hope you guys understand this part because we're going to move on to another instruction in here. Okay, level 0 correspond to the final product. Okay, here is so here as you can see, here is level 0, level 1, and also level 2. Okay. Okay, here the level 0 and then the level 1, the valve and the valve casing, and level 2 correspond the slide and also valve assembly. So the second step, you have to create this one. Remember, this one is really important, bill of material of BOM. So you can divide like the things that you need. So, and here if you think that, okay, ini typo, salah ketik sampai dia menjorok ke dalam. No, this is the way you write bill of materials or BOM. So start in here. To produce one trumpet, we need two components. The first one is bell assembly. We need one bell assembly, and then we need one valve assembly. And from valve assembly, there will be another things that we need, which are 3 slide assembly and 3 valves. So this is the way we write down the bill of material. Jadi emang harus menjorok ke dalam ya. So let's say we're speaking about laptop, then we have one laptop, and then here we need one screen, and maybe here we need one glass, one plastic, for example, and then here we need one keyboard. Okay, In here, maybe one trackpad for your mouse, and then here, okay, ini banyak banget letter buttonnya. Let's say we need 26 letter button according to alphabet, and then we need another 10 numbers button, 0 sampai 9. Let's say, okay, so here the way we wrote bill of material. Okay, jadi jangan lupa ya, menjorok ke dalam memang caranya menuliskannya. Okay, another information. It is said that it takes 7 weeks to produce a trumpet. So that's why I told you we need to take the longest time for each of the phase or each of the level, because in here it is said that it takes 7 weeks and the company must begin production right now on trumpet to be shipped in 7 weeks, because it is estimated that in 7 weeks they will be ready or they will be finished. For that reason, we will consider only forecasts for demands that are at least 7 weeks into the future. And let's say now, because they need to produce now, and the current week is week 1, okay? So the forecast start in week 8. So if you're wondering that why we don't start with week 1, okay, because here it takes 7 weeks to produce. So our very first production will be sell in week 8, because from week 1 until week 7, all the time will be used to making the trumpet or focusing in assembly process. So that's why in here, pay attention. In MRP, the demand will start after you finish the very first productions. So here we have the demand. Okay. So I told you, okay, here let's say they have the demand from week 8 until week 17. Okay, once again, it starts at week 8 because we need the first 7 weeks to focusing in our productions. Okay. There will be another information in here. Oh, these forecasts represent the number of trumpets that the firm would like to have ready to ship in the specified weeks. So that's the number. And then, but Harman periodically receives return from its various suppliers. So there are some returns because they are defective or damaged in shipping. Oke, jadi dia udah ngirim terus habis itu dibalikin lagi. Ya sama kayak botol PET kalian atau pack 1 liter kalian nggak bagus, and then you have to return again to to your supplier. Okay, the trumpets are returned to the pool and of those ready shipping. Okay, jadi dia kembali ke Harman and then it will be repaired, and after that it will be sold again. And here is the scenario where the company expect that there will be some returns. So in week 8 there will be 12. There will be 12 trumpets that return. In week 10 we are going to have 6, and by week 11 we're going to have 9. So if you think that why this information is really important, because it will affect in your final demand or your final forecast. Here, there is another information. In addition, the company expect to have 23 trumpets in inventory at the end of week 7. Well, this thing is related with aggregate planning as well. So by the end of week 7, they have 23 trumpets. And okay, the MPS master production schedule. obtained by netting out the inventory on hand at the end of week 7. So that's why we need to calculate our net predict demand. So as you can see in here, in week 8, we need demand for 77, but remember we have stock for 23 by the end of week 7. So in here, if you want to need to figure out like your exact demand or net predict demand, we have 77 subtract with 23 because we have in 23 in our inventory, and there will be 12 return. Okay, so you have to subtract again. So it means that our net predict demand will be 42. Remember, here is our original demand. Here, this one is from on hand, and 12 will be from return. So you're going to have 42 for week 8. For week 9, there will be no specific issue, so it's going to be the same. And week 10 here, we need, the demand is 38, but there will be 6 return. So here you have to subtract with 6, and here we have 32. The same for week 11, 21. Here we have 21, but there will be 9 return. So here we have 12. And there's no issue for the rest of the week, so the demand will remain the same. In here we have 45, 14, 76, and 38. So this is our demand, or I would say the net predict demand. Okay, questions? Especially for the, okay, here is the forecast demand, but this one is net predict demand because as you can see, there will be some kind of different treatments for each week. Thank you, Chacha. Is there any other questions? No questions? Gampang ya sampai di sini. Still showing. All right then. Okay, so remember this is our net predict demand, but we're not finished yet in here. And the next thing, okay, it's given in here, the MRP calculations for the bell assembly. So we start with bell assembly in here. Okay, so as you can see in here, bell assembly, the quantity required is 1 and the lead time is 2 weeks. Okay, and here the gross requirement is the same with net predict demand. Let's say like in week 8 we need 42, and then week 9 42 respectively until week 17. The net requirements is also will be the same. Okay. The different things is the time phase and plan order release. So remember here, for bell assembly, the lead time is 2 weeks. So if you want to have the final product at week 8, so it means that you need to start the production 2 weeks before. So that's why this data will be stacked back for 2 periods for 2 weeks. So it means that that's why in here the requirement according to the time we need 42. We need to start producing bell assembly about 42 units at week 6. Remember, because it needs 2 weeks to complete the productions, especially for bell assembly, and you need that at week 8. Jadi dia mundur 2 minggu ya, because the lead time is 2 weeks. And plan order release, it's going to be the same. If you're wondering, so what is exactly the difference? I'm going to show you later, but at the moment, yes, the plan because it's going to be released, it means that it's going to be start producing at the same time by week 6. So here is our very first MRP for the bell assembly. Remember, always deal with the quantity and also with the lead time. Apparently, because the quantity is the same, so you don't have to change the number. It's going to be the same with the net predict demand. Okay, questions for the MRP for bell assembly? Any questions? Thank you, Husna. The rest of you, is there any questions? Okay, thank you, Leonardo. That's for the bell assembly. Moving on to another case is, okay, we finished with this one. Let's move on to the valve casing assembly. So here we need one, and the lead time is 4 weeks. So basically, because the unit, the quantity required is 1 unit, and so there'll be no special case given in here. So basically, you just can do the same. So here we need that about 42 quantities by week 8, and the lead time is 4 weeks. So it means that you have to start production 4 weeks in advance. So that's why we step back for 4 weeks. So that's why in here the net requirement and also load for load, you need that starting in week 4, okay? Because you need that product by the end of but not by the end, by week 8. So you need to start production by week 4. Okay. This is basically the same. And okay, let's move on to here. So okay, so here we finish with this part. Okay, let's continue with the valves. So basically we finish with the components. Let's move on to the raw material. Okay, there will be a special case in here. Now consider the MRP calculations for the valves. And then let us assume that the company expect on-hand inventory for, okay, there will be another, okay, we're speaking specifically about valves in here. So on-hand inventory 186 valves at the end of week 3. And there is a receipt from outside supplier. So, okay, this scenario, they have multiple supplier. So they have 186 in their on hand or in their warehouse, and there will be 96 valves came from another supplier in week 5. Okay, remember each trumpet needs 3 valves. Okay, let's see the data in here. It's going to be more complex. So remember, the first one is the quantity that we need is 3 units. Okay, we need 3 valves, as you can see in here, and the lead time is 3 weeks. So we need to have the product by not by in here. So it's going to be different because remember the valve assembly, okay, the valve assembly, it takes like 4 weeks. So the demand exactly you have to start in 4 weeks in advance. Okay, so jadi kalau kalian pikir okay, valve assembly, the valve is 3 weeks gitu, not exactly, because remember ini tuh anak dari valve ini adalah anak dari valve assembly ya. So even though it is said that okay you need that for 3 weeks, but demand is actually 4 weeks in advance. So the gross and you have the second thing is it needs 3 units. So you have to multiply the net predict demand by 3. So we start in here. 42 times. Okay, let's start with the gross requirement firstly. Okay, 42 multiplied by 3. So here we have 126. Here is the same. Here we need 96. And then 36, 78, 336, 135, 42. Here and this one. Okay, so once again, even though the valve said it is said that okay the lead time for 3 weeks, but it part of valve assembly case valve casing assembly, so you have to stay back for 4 weeks in advance because lead time-nya buat valve casing assembly itu 4 weeks. Any questions maybe for this part? Because I know that it's kind of confusing. So just to make sure that you guys understand before we move on. Is there any questions?
Miss,
Yeah.
masih bingung, Miss.
Okay, which part? Let me know.
Kenapa mulainya dari week 4, Miss?
Okay, that's a good question. Thank you, Amin. The thing is, okay, let's explain again. Kenapa dia mulainya di week 4? Okay, if I can zoom in for this part. Okay, let's see the picture. Okay, yang kita, sorry, I'm speaking in bahasa for this time. Yang kita mau buat bill of materialnya itu kan valves kan, oke? Oke, valves and then lead time-nya itu adalah 3 weeks. Tapi kalian, one thing that to be note is valve ini adalah bagian dari valve casing assembly, oke? And the gross requirement itu we're speaking about the final product. We're speaking about the final product in gross requirement. Jadi, even though dia lead time-nya 3 minggu, tapi untuk valve casing-nya kan dia butuh 4 minggu di sini. Before it become the end product, or here the finished one. So that's why we need to step back for 4 weeks instead of 3 weeks. Okay? So instead of starting the production at week 5, kayak mundur 3 langkah, step back for 3 weeks, we have to step back for 4 weeks instead. Karena tadi ya, dia bagian dari valve casing assembly. So gross requirement is actually we're speaking about the finished product. So you have to, jadi harus dilihat ininya, harus dilihat chartnya. Dia itu bagian dari sub assembly mana, and dia adalah bagian dari valve casing assembly. Butuhnya lead time-nya itu adalah 4 minggu, so you have to step back for 4 weeks. Okay, clear, Yamin? Okay, questions from Gary. Can you repeat why we start at week 2 instead with week 4 instead of week 2? Oh, we don't. Oh, okay. We are going to need that info. I'm going to explain later why we have to consider week 2 in here. I'm going to answer your question later on, Gary. Okay, question from Pangisti. Misalnya the valve casing lead time-nya 5 weeks. So we need to step back like 5 weeks also. Yes, you have to step back for 5 weeks. Karena once again, valves ini adalah material dari komponen valve casing assembly. So you have to, kalian harus cek satu level di atasnya seperti itu. Oke, get it clear, Yamin, Pangesti, Gary? Why we don't start at week 4 instead of week? Why we start at week 4 instead of week 2? Yeah, because you have to step back for like 4 weeks based on the component itself. Week 2, no, because the production will be final produknya akan lebih selesai lebih cepat dari yang kita harapkan kayak gitu. So remember, because the goal in here is to make sure that you guys are having as minimum inventory of the final product as possible. Okay. Next, for the schedule receipt. So if you still remember the illustration, it is said that by week 5, there will be another supply from our second supplier for 96. So you write down in here, schedule receipt is 96 from our another supplier. And it is said again that, okay, we are going to have on hand for 186 by week 3, okay? So the calculation will be important in here because we're not just like, we have two new variables in here, schedule receipt and also on-hand inventories. So you have to consider also these units or this quantity. So the thing is like how to calculate that one. The first one is, okay, so we have this one like on-hand inventory 168, and then by week 4, here by week 4 we have 126. So you have to subtract, okay, dikurang ya. Jadi kalian punya on hand nih 186. Terus kalian punya requirement sebanyak 126 di minggu keempat. So you have to subtract like 186 subtract with 126. Now on hand yang tertinggal adalah sisa on handnya adalah 60. Okay. Moving on, so we have on-hand inventories by the end of week 4, and then in week 5 we have another receipt 96 from another supplier, and here we have our demand is 126. So if you want to calculate your on hand by week 5, simply just 60 times 96. Okay, this is from our leftover on hand, and then there will be another receipt from other supplier, subtract with the quantity that we need, our demand, and here you're going to find our on hand will be 30. Okay, 60 tambah 96 dikurang 126. Okay. Questions maybe until this part, especially for the on-hand inventories and also schedule receipts?
Sampai sini masih paham, Miss.
Alright, thank you. Any other questions? No?
Miss,
Ya.
berarti 96 dari schedule receipt itu terhitung on-hand inventories juga atau gimana?
Yang mana? Yang schedule receipt yang ini?
Iya, yang 96.
Yep, but it's not written dia nggak ditulis di minggu kelima sebagai on hand dulu ya. Jadi karena dia baru tibanya di minggu kelima kan. So that's why they're going to be in separate categories. But yeah, you will be considered this one as your on hand. Karena setelah itu kan dia akan ditambahkan sebagai on hand 60 dengan 96 ini dikurang 126. And then sisanya dia akan masuk di on hand kamu 30.
Thank you, Miss.
Yep. Any other questions about the on hand, especially? No questions? If there is no more question, let's move on to another point here, net requirement. So net requirement is basically the quantity that you need in that specific period. Beda ya, kalau once again, kalau gross itu is your final product, okay? Based on your final product, and then schedule receipt is the quantity that will be arrive in your warehouse or in your company. The on-hand inventories is the quantity that you have in your warehouse. The net requirement is the quantity that you need for the productions. But the thing is, in here kita udah spesifik ngomongin tentang raw material. That's the difference, okay? In gross requirement, we're speaking about the finished goods, but in that requirement, we're speaking about the raw material or the material that we are discussing in this table, I would say. Let's see. So this is basically continuing the data from on-hand inventories. Okay, so here, let's say you still have on-hand 60. So it means that you don't need to produce anything karena masih ada punya sisa on hand ya. Kalian 60 di minggu keempat. So that's why the net requirement in week 4 we count as 0. And it's the same for week 5. Karena week 5 kalian masih ada sisa on hand 30. So it means that you don't need extra production for the valve. So let's say we have 0 in here. But in week 6, you have like, okay, your demand is 96, but you only have 30 left in your warehouse. So it means you need extra 66, ya. 96 dikurang 30. So it means that there is a requirement for the valves to be produced in here, about 66. Okay, because we don't, like the left in on-hand inventories is not enough for the demand at that specific time. So here we have 66. And the rest of it, because we no longer have inventories, let's say there will be no another receipt from our supplier, so the remaining data will be the same. Okay, here we have like this 42, 228, 140. Okay, questions for this part?
Miss?
Yeah.
I'm still confused why in the week 4 and week 5 our net requirement is 0.
Okay, because in this part we still have inventory. Okay, net requirement, it means that the quantity that we need at that time. Okay, the extra, kayak gimana ya? Oke, requirement yang kamu butuh untuk kamu punya karena kamu udah nggak punya stok di warehouse kamu, kayak gitu. Ini in here we still have 60 karena kita masih punya left ya, masih ada 60. So it means that okay, we don't need to order more, we don't need to produce more karena di sini kalian masih punya stock on hand. Okay, so that's why we have 0. In week 5, the same. You still have 30. So okay, we don't need extra stuff or extra material in here. But in week 6, demand-nya 96, on hand kalian cuma 30. So that's why you need extra 66 as your requirement. Karena udah nggak ada lagi stok di on hand kalian. So that's why in week 4 and 5, we have 0, but in week 6, now we have the amount, like 66. Clear?
Clear, Miss. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. Any other questions? Okay, if there's no questions, let's continue. So the next one is time phase net requirement. So how do we calculate it? Ini berdasarkan net requirement ya. So once again, so now we're speaking specifically about the valves. Jadi kalau kalian perhatikan dari tadi, so if you pay attention, start from our calculation, we're doing step by step, okay? Start from the finished product, and then from the component, and now we're specifically speaking about the lead time or the raw material for the valve itself. So here, remember the lead time is 3 weeks, all right? So it means that you have to step back for 3 weeks. You have to step back for 3 weeks before to make sure that, okay, this is the time, karena di sini time phase net requirement ya. So you have to deal with time. You have to deal with your lead time. So from this data, from net requirement, you have to step back for 3 weeks or 3 periods. So that's why here we have 66. Okay, step back for 3 weeks. Karena lead time-nya itu adalah 3 minggu. So here we have, and there's no any other variables. So the data will be the same. It's just the period that will be different. Okay. And it's going to be the same with plan order release. Plan order release, it means that you have to start the ordering process and also you have to start the productions. Jadi dia sama ya, requirement dia butuhnya kapan, terus dia harus plan order untuk release, untuk start completing the productions, and the quantity will be the same as well. Okay, so we finished with our MPS, master production schedule for the valves. So this is basically like how to break down and analyzing the forecast in a very specific way until the very small pieces in your product or in your productions. Questions? Is there any questions? Okay, I'll give you 2 minutes. Try to recall again the information that I gave to you, and let me know if you have any questions. At least yang di bagian ini ya, kalian paham deh basicnya kayak gimana gitu. Because yeah, we're going to do another calculations for next Wednesday. Oh, sorry, there's a question from Gary. As long as there is inventory, the net requirement is null, means yes, as long as, so back again to our calculations in here. So yes, as long as we still have inventories left in here, then the net requirement will be 0. But I mean like kalau on hand-nya itu jumlahnya lebih banyak daripada gross requirement-nya ya. Okay, but let's say that bukan lebih banyak, sorry. As long as the on-hand inventory-nya we still have left, then we can fulfill the demand in the same period. But tapi kalau case-nya kayak gini, kayak okay, you have 96 in week A and week 6, but on handmu cuma 30, nggak cukup, then you will have not 0 net requirement. Let me know, Gary, if it's still not clear for you. Okay, Husna, so the time phase in R net requirement uses for the raw material lead time. Yes, the raw material lead time. Time phase net requirement. Yes, the raw material lead time. The specific one ya. Ingat kalau yang tadi, kalau yang di gross requirement, we still have to consider the components karena dia di sini valve itu bagian dari valve casing ya. So we consider 4 weeks. Okay, but in here valves-nya adalah 3 weeks. So yeah, speaking specifically about from the lead time of the raw material. No, you don't have to consider from the previous level or level 1 karena di sini udah di consider ya. Here we already speaking for level 1. So now in this part we're going to speak for level 2. Okay, question from Savannah. Could you explain once again why the plan order release is the same time with plan order release at the same time with time phase? Okay, kalau if the time phase requirement we are dealing with time, okay, we're dealing with the lead time for the raw material itself. So for this case, you have to step back for 3 weeks because the lead time is 3 weeks. Kalau plan order release is the planning or the time when the order, okay, the order or the production is start. Karena kebetulan, maksudnya time phase net requirement-nya demand-nya kan di minggu ke 6, bukan di minggu ke 66. Time phase NR, this is net requirement. So this is basically we're speaking about demand of the raw material, okay? Karena dia step back 3 minggu ya, step back 3 minggu. Okay, so demand for the valve itu ada di minggu ketiga. So, and because there is no any inventory or any other issue, jadi plan order release, so it means that you need to start production at the same time, at the same period. Makanya time phase-nya dan plan order release-nya di sini sama angkanya. Sama angkanya atau sama periodnya, sama-sama di minggu ketiga, kayak gitu. Jadi net requirement, ingat ya, kalau net requirement we're speaking about demand. So here is the exact demand in raw material considering the lead time. Kalau net requirement aja ini kita nggak lihat lead time-nya ya. Cuma oke, di minggu di minggu ke-6 kita butuh 66. Tapi di time phase kita consider bahwa oke, lead time-nya 3 minggu. Jadi dia emang harus step back for 3 weeks. And there's no issue, so there's no any case that okay, there'll be another supplier or any other cases. So plan order release-nya itu sama di minggu yang sama. Okay, the thing is pengerjaannya berarti berurutan. It's going to be it's going to be complex answer. It's it doesn't say that pengerjaannya it could be berurutan. So if we can go back again to our valve casing assembly. Okay, here valve casing assembly. So here net requirement, they going to start the production in week 4. Okay. And here they're going to start production in week 3. So, yap, waktunya itu bukan berurutan ya. It could be step by step, but it also could be at the same time. Kalau kita ngomong ini ya, kalau kita ngomong tentang raw materialnya ya, karena if you see the diagram bell assembly ini kan dia nggak ada requirement raw material kan, but it could be case that bell assembly sama valve casing assembly-nya dikerjakan bersamaan. There'll be a case like that. Nggak harus berurutan ya, but could be parallel, bisa bersamaan juga. Wow, there are a lot of questions. Sebelumnya tidak pernah sebanyak ini pertanyaan. Okay, question from Dina. Sorry, I forgot to find schedule receipt 96. Where did you get this schedule receipt? Oh, that's from the illustrations. Let me go back again. Okay, receipt from supplier 96 at week 5. So that's why we have schedule receipts here 96 at week 5. Okay, another question from Gary. Kalau misal ada schedule receipt di week 10 sebanyak 96 juga, jadi hitungannya gimana, Miss? Okay, so that's why, let's say we have another case in here, schedule receipt here. Jadi pasti dia akan berpengaruh sama minggu yang ini ya, okay? So here let's say we have another 96 in here. Jadi ini nanti 103, ini pasti nggak akan 135 lagi, oke? Okay? If you have another receipt 96, jadi di sini 135 dikurang 96. Berapa tuh? Matematika aku nggak bagus soalnya. Let me check. 135 kurang 96. Okay, here we have. It means that we need the net requirement is only 93 in here, and ini juga pasti bakal berubah ya, 42 kurang 39. So actually we don't need salah ya, dia harusnya di sini 39 gitu. And the rest of the calculation also will be different or will be changed. Kayak gitu. Karena di sini akan ada schedule, akan ada order receipt ya. So you have to treat or do the calculation just the same like what we did in week 5 and week 6. Yep. On hand inventory-nya 0, tapi nanti dia akan 39 di sini ya. Bukan di sini, sorry. Ini ternyata dia double. Oke. Jadi di sini on hand inventory-nya 39, and then net requirement-nya juga pasti bakal berubah, terutama di minggu ke-11, 12, dan 13. Okay, any other questions for MRP? So yeah, that's the real truth, guys, that speaking about production is not easy as maybe what you talked before. Final questions? Is that clear enough? Yeah.
Miss, would you mind to upload this slide that you have been coret-coret, Miss?
You have been coret-coret. Itu siapa nanya? Oh, dia. Okay, the thing is, do you want to have the slide like these yang penuh coret-coret? Actually, you can check your book. Ini sebenarnya ada kok di buku, cuma I made this one blank because so I can let you know like how to start calculated, but you can check on your book. Aku lupa halaman berapa, sebentar aku cek dulu. Yap, kenapa Widya?
Nggak apa-apa yang coret-coret, Miss. Soalnya saya sambil lihat recording kalau belajarnya, Miss.
Okay then. So yes, thank you Widya for
Yeah.
your concern.
Yes.
Yeah. So yes, I will upload it to you. But you can also check on page 446. Okay, if you want to have the clear, I mean like better explanations and also better picture, not yang coret-coret. So you can also check at page 446. Another questions? I like your coret-coret. Okay, then I will upload for you guys. Final questions. Okay, so let's say that if you think selama ini kalian pikir kayak, aduh ngapain sih belajar fresh connection? Well, how exactly, terutama untuk kalian mungkin yang pernah konsultasi sama aku dan aku bilang, please check the quantity yang kalian butuhkan untuk satu jus itu berapa, orange-nya berapa, vitamin C-nya berapa. So I hope you guys can get the idea. Jadi emang harus di breakdown ya. You have to consider not only the finished goods forecast, but also for the component or for the raw material. Any other questions?
Hello, Miss.
Yeah.
I want to ask about the on-hand inventories on week 10, Miss.
Okay. Here.
So, yeah. So, based from my understanding, the gross requirement for week 10 is still more than the scheduled receipts, Miss. So, I think there will be no inventories on week 10. So
here.
the 39 will be on the, yeah.
You mean that with this scenario that there will be another 69 or?
No, Miss. I think the 39 will be on our net requirements for week 10, not on our on-hand inventories.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. I guess so. Is that so? Let me check. Okay, there will be another schedule receipts and we need like, okay, it will be in here. Okay, thank you, Azizan, for the corrections. My brain is not working at the moment, but I'm going to check it later on. Thank you, Azizan, for your concern. Ada lagi pertanyaan? Setelah belajar berpikir memahami bahasa Inggris, kenapa kamu baru sadarnya sekarang, Dila, di saat 2 minggu lagi kita final exam? Any other questions? Okay, let's say if you, oh, sorry for taking your extra time this week. Okay, if you want to have extra exercise because we don't have enough time to discuss this in class. Kalaupun aku suruh kalian kerjain sekarang juga belum tentu kalian mau ngerjain, so please working on this, okay? This is not the homework. I would say bukan homework ya. So feel free if you want to do this exercise number 4. And kalau kalian udah dapat jawabannya, if you want to check, you can boost me on Teams ya. Kayak biasanya siapa sih? Dina sama Dila, biasanya dia ngechat aku nanya jawabannya udah betul atau enggak. So feel free guys, you can try to do this exercise. Not the homework, okay? So feel free if you want to do by yourself, you can do it by yourself. Okay, another questions? If there is no questions, then 928. Okay, we're not going to discuss a lot about your buah vita this week, sorry ya, karena udah setengah 10 aja, dan Farida dan Jen sebentar lagi juga ada kelas. So, but here is the result, okay? So okay, let's see. Here's the result from week number 4. So Gelut I is still in the first round. Okay, I'm going to show you maybe in here. Okay, based on the round score, let's see, calon menantu idaman masih di peringkat pertama, Gelut I naik lagi ke peringkat 4. Kayaknya kalian semakin hari nilainya semakin bagus ya. Okay, here for score round 4, but the total performance, okay, calon menantu idaman, Gelut I masih ada di peringkat pertama ya. Calon menantu idaman di peringkat ketiga, disusul sama yang lain. Oke, yang terakhir PT Mencari Cinta Sejati. Oke, I'm going to ask randomly. Let's see siapa yang di peringkat pertama di sales sekarang. Oke, for sales peringkat pertama ada Rizka. Rizka mau bareng siapa ya?
Nia, Miss.
Okay, so what exactly that you did for your company, for your sales? Maybe you can share with the others.
Apa ya, Miss? Kami kemarin ngubah yang Miss saranin sih. Naikin forecast itu sama yang mempertahankan service level gitu-gitu, Miss.
Apa? Sorry, yang kedua?
Service level sama life-nya. Kan Miss kemarin nyaranin udah bagus gitu. Sama konsul ke anak SCM juga gitu.
Oh, oke. Jadi kalau yang untuk ini punya siapa? Oh, Mencari Cinta Sejati ya. Boleh aku ke company kamu? Company
Boleh,
kalian?
Miss.
Oke, let's see sales-nya apa yang terjadi. Oke, tapi obsolete. Ini punya
Obsolete.
kamu dari company mana sih? Lupa aku. Let's
Mencari
see.
Cinta Sejati, Miss.
Oke, let me see. Sales ya?
Oh, kebalik.
Oh, salah, Deng.
Itu round 4.
Iya, sorry, round 4. Maaf ya, Rizka. Oke, calon penantu idaman Anissa Fitriakur Rahman, boleh di-share ceritanya apa yang kamu lakukan dengan penjualan kamu?
Ya, halo Miss, boleh.
Ya.
Ya. Jadi di penjualan di PT Calon Menantu Idaman, kami itu evaluasi demand dari round-round sebelumnya. Dan saya coba lihat forecasting sama biasnya kayak gimana. Kebetulan sebenarnya bias itu kan menunjukkan apakah forecastnya itu benar apa enggak. Jadi menurut history forecastnya sebenarnya udah stabil segitu-gitu aja. Jadi saya belum gunain fungsi forecasting di sales itu, Miss, karena kelihatannya masih terpenuhi selama ini. Jadi jadi yang di-adjust tuh cuman yang ada di note aja. Kebetulan saya kemarin di company kami ada obsolete di Orange PET sama Orange Power kalau nggak salah. Jadi production untuk dua produk itu kami turunin, terus untuk shelf life-nya tetap dinaikin aja karena gitu, Miss.
Oke, thank you. Satu yang harus di-highlight tadi dari statementnya Anissa, kalau ada obsolete yang banyak, itu kalian harus stop production dulu ya. Ibaratnya itu karena obsolete-nya tinggi, berarti kalian punya produk yang udah mau kadaluarsa, kayak gitu. Jadi emang harus di-stop dulu production-nya, gitu. Thank you, calon menantu idaman. Moving on to operations, masih aja di peringkat pertama, ada Diani dan Dinda. What did you do guys for your operations? Ada palet yang diubah atau berapa production line yang kalian pakai sekarang? Apakah masih pakai Swiss fill aja atau ada tambahan lagi?
Should we share screen, Miss?
Oke, boleh. Feel free. Anyway, TFC-nya udah di-open ya. Oh, sorry. Masih close. Sorry. Udah, coba di-refresh lagi. Oke, udah. Oke, so what are you doing then?
Kalau yang ini Miss, untuk yang inspection tuh tetap, palet juga tetap. Untuk mixing itu kami ada hitung bagus untuk pakai mixer yang mana, dilihat dari demand-nya juga. Jadi kami milihnya based on demands. Sama untuk bottling itu sebenarnya ini Miss, kan harusnya defaultnya 2/2. Itu tadi kita salah lupa ganti, tapi ternyata ya gitu Miss.
Oke, jadi kalian pakai ini ya, pakai 2 bottling line ya. Dan
Yes, Miss.
Oke, jadi nambah 1 bottling line, dan yang top speed itu kenapa yang di top speednya shiftnya ada 2? Coba boleh turun ke bawah yang allocate product to bottling lines.
Itu kesalahan Miss, 2 shift. Harusnya 1. Tapi tadi gantinya di detik-detik terakhir.
Iya itu Miss.
Nggak apa-apa, make sense sih sebenarnya kalau kalian lihat ya, di top speed itu kan shiftnya ada 2, dan kalau kita scroll ke bawah tadi produknya untuk Freshly Orange 1 liter. Nah, kalau untuk demand sih seingat aku, walaupun beda kuantitinya mungkin ya di masing-masing tim sekarang, tapi emang demand yang paling tinggi itu kan ada di Freshly Orange 1 liter kan gitu. Jadi nggak apa-apa dia dibikin shiftnya menjadi 2, sebenarnya nggak masalah karena juga demand-nya lebih banyak gitu. Jadi kayak emang butuh extra time for the productions. Questions from Angelia, yang diambil nilainya itu yang off or until. Kalau untuk tim diambilnya 2, dua-duanya. Tapi yang untuk roll itu diambilnya off karena sama aja, nggak ada bedanya kayak gitu. Oke, ada lagi yang mau disampaikan Dinda dan Diani?
Udah Miss, karena outbound juga masih tetap sama. Thank you Miss.
Thank you ya. Moving on, purchasing di peringkat pertama ada Sandi dan Gloria. Ada yang bisa di-share kalian berdua, Sandi dan Gloria? Coba aku mau lihat punya mereka dulu. Service levelnya paling rendah itu berapa? Sandi, Gloria, are you there?
Permisi, Miss.
Yes, Miss. Yep.
Itu until kayaknya, Miss. Kalau off kami peringkat 3.
Kami peringkat 3, Miss.
Di off, soalnya
Iya,
ini
Miss,
beda
beda,
off sama
Miss.
until, Miss, kalau tahu saya. Soalnya kalau off itu kan di ronde itu doang. Kalau until itu overall dari ronde 1 sampai ronde 4. Jadi kayak peringkat umum gitu loh, Miss.
Sorry, aku coba cek lagi ya.
Oke.
Off round 4. Oh, yang off sekarang ada Yayang dengan Dea. Sorry, thank you kalian berdua. Oke, questions again. Jadi kalau untuk yang tim menjawab pertanyaannya siapa tadi? Pertanyaannya Angelia. Kalau yang untuk tim aku ngambilnya 2, yang off dan yang until. Tapi kalau untuk role-nya aku ambilnya yang off aja ya, gitu. Karena hanya untuk yang ronde itu aja. Kalau until itu yang kayak dari awal sampai habis. Oke, untuk off round 4 purchasing kita ada Yayang dan Dea. Ada yang bisa di-share kalian berdua?
Sebenarnya gimana ya, Miss? Buat purchasing sendiri kalau misalnya dari aku, nanti mungkin dia bisa nambahin. Dari yang kemarin tuh kami ngubahnya kan yang buat Mango sih, Miss. Kami tuh ada kayak sesuatu hal yang perlu diperbaikin tuh yang di Mango gitu. Jadi kayak reliability dari si Mango tuh 77% dari suppliernya, tapi kita ngesetnya itu 88 atau 89 waktu itu. Jadi kayak less reliable gitu. Terus akhirnya kita mengganti supplier, Miss, gitu.
Oh, kalian ganti supplier. Oke.
Iya, Miss. Tapi kan kalau di ronde 4 kan ada dual supplier kan, Miss. Tapi kami nggak menggunakan fungsi itu, Miss. Karena kami mikirnya nanti, aduh kalau misalnya 2 nanti jatuhnya lebih mahal atau gimana gitu. Jadi kayak ya udahlah 1 aja gitu. Kami menentukannya kayak gitu. Kalau di Nigeria kan jauh kan Miss. Tapi sebenarnya kami gantinya itu juga
kemarin
lumayan
itu
jauh sih
yang-
Miss ke
Sorry, kemarin kalian yang ganti sama Nigeria itu ya,
gimana?
Iya kan, kalian yang minggu lalu ganti
Iya.
sama ini itu kan sampai akhirnya stoknya
Iya.
jadi jutaan. Oke.
Iya Miss.
Apa yang terjadi dengan punya kalian sekarang yang dari Nigeria itu diganti?
Iya Miss. Nah, itu diganti ke
Oke.
supplier baru. Terus kayak yang awalnya kayak kita beli tank dan segala macam itu kan banyak banget ya Miss stoknya jadinya gitu. Terus akhirnya kayak kita menipiskan stok itu. Terus dari supply chain juga kami apa sih namanya? Kan mereka bisa ngehandle kayak kapan belinya gitu kan Miss, kayak reorder poinnya tuh kapan gitu. Terus akhirnya ngomong sama ke supply chain gitu, enaknya gimana. Terus mereka udah ngehandle di bagian supply chain. Akhirnya insya Allah terselesaikan Miss.
Oke, thank you. Oke, sebelum kita ke supply chain, sebenarnya satu ya yang perlu kalian cek itu dari fresh connection, apalagi kita habis belajar MRP, kalian harus tahu yang pertama dia itu butuhnya seberapa banyak gitu. Jadi kayak jangan, terutama dari purchasing ya, karena purchasing itu yang beli loh ke supplier gitu. Jadi kekacauan yang ada di operations dan supply chain dan sales itu bisa jadi juga asalnya dari purchasing karena dia order raw material itu atau komponen nggak sesuai dengan quantity. Jadi ini kalian bisa lihat di information, nggak tahu ini apa menu yang kadang suka terlupakan sama kalian. Beberapa juga yang pernah konsultasi sama aku mereka nggak notice. Jadi ini yang tabel pertama, ini kalian bisa download BOM-nya. Jadi udah ini ya, semakin moga-moga kalian udah bisa narik benang merahnya lah antara apa yang dipelajarin di kelas sama contoh simulasinya ini. Jadi ini masing-masing udah ada presentasinya ya. Jadi misalnya Freshly Orange 1 liter, dia itu butuh botol 1 liter jelas, dan orange yang dibutuhkan itu nggak banyak, yang nggak sampai ratusan liter, dia tuh hanya butuh sekitar 200 ml gitu. Even untuk vitamin C di Freshly Orange C Power dia nggak, butuhnya tuh dikit banget, kayak cuma 0,003 liter. Jadi udah tahu kan bomnya itu seperti apa. Jadi demand yang kalian demand yang kalian punya di di reportnya sales dan supply chain itu kalian kalikan dengan 0,003 misalnya dan 0,010. Nah, itu kalian jadi tahu tuh misalnya kayak berapa banyak sih sebenarnya raw material yang kita butuhkan kayak gitu. Nanti dibandingkan sama stoknya. Nah, data yang berikutnya ini terkait sama operations. Biasanya operations kan bingung tuh kayak ya udah sih kita harus sedia paletnya berapa gitu. Ibaratnya kalian udah punya kan data stok dari supply chain kan. Nah, itu kalian sesuaikan sama komponennya ini gitu. Misalnya kalian bingung satu palet itu ada berapa sih isinya. Nah, ini kan ada misalnya satu Freshly Orange 1 liter, satu palet isinya ada 600 botol. Ini juga termasuk kalau misalnya kalian mau jual ke sales itu mau jual ke customer ya. Jadi kan ada tuh pilihannya track unit, apakah dia pakai box, pakai palet layer atau pakai palet. Nah, ini sudah ada juga masing-masing. Jadi kalau misalnya kalian mau jual per palet layer itu isinya 120 botol 1 liter, satu palet layer kayak gitu. Ini berapa liter satu pack, dan ini sales retailnya ya. Jadi kalau kalian bingung sebenarnya kita untungnya berapa sih, sebenarnya kita jualannya berapa sih. Nah, ini harga originalnya itu nanti kalian kalikan sama service levelnya kalian gitu. Misalnya kayak kemarin sih siapa, aku lupa, antara GGS ya kalau nggak salah, dia tuh service levelnya 0,6. Jadi dia rugi-rugi terus ya, iya wajar. 0,6 itu let's say kayak 60% ya. Kalian hanya menjual 60% dari harga 45 sen ya. Kapan kayanya perusahaannya dikasih diskon terus sama customernya gitu. Makanya untuk sales itu bagus kalau service levelnya di atas 1. Jadi 0,45 misalnya kayak kali 1,5 ya. Mereka akan, customer kalian bakal bayar lebih mahal daripada harga jual aslinya kalian kayak gitu. Ini yang berikut, kalau ini terkait tentang komponen atau raw material. Jadi ini udah ketahuan ya, 1 pack 1 liter kalau dia pakai palet itu, ini terutama juga di purchasing ya. Kalian belinya pakai palet misalnya, oke, 1 palet itu isinya 17.820 botol. Jadi kalau apalagi untuk yang botol PET juga ini perbandingannya banyak ya, jauh gitu range-nya. Jadi kalian harus lihat tuh kalian butuhnya berapa. Kalau misalnya butuhnya nggak ribuan, nggak banyak banget, jangan beli dari supplier pakai palet konten. Belinya pakai palet layar aja kayak gitu. Termasuk yang untuk buah-buahannya, karena dia dijualnya dalam bentuk liquid ya. Ini yang paling sering nih, aku udah melihat case di beberapa company kalian minta dikirimin pakai truk. Lihat nih, 1 kali angkut truk sepakai tank, pakai tank itu kuantitinya 30.000 liter 1 kali ngirim. Bisa jadi kalian nggak butuh sebanyak itu 30.000. Jadi no wonder habis itu stoknya jadi banyak banget, obsolete-nya jadi tinggi. Bisa jadi kalian butuhnya cuma ribuan aja. Kalau ribuan aja pakai IBC. Kalau butuhnya nggak banyak ya udah pakai drum aja kayak gitu. Jadi please, karena udah belajar MRP, check this part in your company. Karena sebenarnya kunci dari perhitungan kalian semuanya ada di sini. Oke? Oke, Farida. Mungkin
Farida. Saya ada pertanyaan nih.
Ya, Sarah.
Jadi kalau semisal itu kebutuhannya dia perlu 34,5 gitu Miss ya. Nah, habis itu kita belinya pakai model palet. Itu datangnya berarti 35 palet Miss ya. Sisanya itu yang 0,5 itu tadi.
Sorry, ini kita ngomongin komponen atau raw material?
Komponen Miss. Jadi kalau misalnya kita beli dari supplier, kita modelnya itu palet. Nah, setelah kita hitung ternyata kita butuhnya tuh sekitar 3,34, misalnya 40,1 gitu Miss ya. Itu bakal 40.000, benar, 40.000. Enggak 40.000 Miss. Itu kayak udah di total sama si paletnya gitu. Jadi cuma butuhnya ternyata itu 34,5 kayak gitu. Nah, itu berarti yang datang kita belinya ke supplier itu 35 jumlah itemnya Miss ya. Jumlah paletnya.
Yap.
Oke, I see. Oke. Thank you Miss.
5 dan jangan lupa ya dikalinya berapa, 1 palet itu kuantitinya berapa, sama basic price-nya juga berapa. Ini kan kayak harga yang kalian beli dari supplier kan gitu. Kalau mau ngitung sampai cuannya ya, karena aku tahu si calon menantu idaman concern banget masalah cuan. Jadi basic price-nya ini jangan lupa dikali sama kontrak indeksnya kalian juga dari supplier kayak gitu. Makanya kalau bisa kontrak indeks purchasing itu as low as possible, karena kalian berarti dapat diskon dari harga ini lebih murah kayak gitu. Oke, ada lagi final questions maybe? Sorry ya.
Thank you.
Oke, thank you Tara. Ada lagi? Sorry ya, taking your extra time. No questions? If there's no questions, oke, yang terakhir yang mau aku share kalian adalah mana ya? Sorry, aku lupa. Ini aku lupa filenya. Oh, yang konten. Sorry. Ini bukan. Oke. Ini untuk ronde kelima. Nanti aku kirim juga ke captain of the team masing-masing. Jadi ada yang baru untuk game ini. Yang pertama adalah promotion horizon untuk sales, sama VMI. VMI itu adalah vendor manage inventory. Jadi vendor manage inventory adalah ibaratnya kalau sales ya, berarti kalian yang manage inventory-nya customer kalian gitu. Jadi kalian yang harus manage demand-nya. Makanya ada fitur forecast kan gitu. Jadi kalian yang manage demand-nya customer kalian gitu. Sama juga dengan purchasing, vendor manage inventory. Bedanya adalah ya udah kalian nggak ngitung gitu. Kalian nggak ngitung lagi butuh raw material berapa. Jadi kalian kayak ya udahlah gue serahkan semuanya sama vendor sama supplier gitu. Namanya vendor manage inventory ya. Tapi hati-hati jangan direlakan gitu aja ya sama supplier, karena bisa jadi supplier juga salah hitung kayak gitu. Sama ini vendor manage inventory untuk sales, hati-hati kalau kalian nggak pinter ngitung, bisa jadi demand-nya customer kalian juga jadinya berantakan kayak gitu. Let's see ada apa aja, ada fitur baru di sini, ada tentang supplier development, jadi kayak kalian ya mencari supplier yang kayak nggak hanya sekedar certified ya gitu, tapi kalian kayak ngasih development, ngasih training sama suppliernya gitu, dengan harapan ya mereka akan perform lebih bagus juga gitu. Jangan lupa ini mahal, 30.000 atau 60.000 atau 30.000 per round. Jadi jangan asal yes aja, karena itu uang kalian juga bakal hilang. Nah, terus ini ada VMI, Vendor Manage Inventory. Nanti kalian bisa cek dulu ya, baca dulu, baru nanti bisa tanya sama aku. Sama ini promotion horizon, ini kalian mau promosi, ya sebenarnya kayak ngasih promosi gitu, kayak diskon, maksudnya kayak ya udah sih promosi pada umumnya gitu. Kalian mau ngasihnya in short period, misalnya oke, gue promosi nih tapi 24 jam doang gitu, atau mau long promotion. Ini sebenarnya case-nya bagus, terutama untuk yang punya obsolete produk banyak. Jadi ini adalah waktunya untuk kalian jualan lebih gitu, biar ngabisin stok kalian. Untuk bottling ada inflate PET juga, ini terkait dengan size dari botol PET kalian. Nanti bisa dicek lagi, dicek dulu ya. Sama ada outsource outbound warehouse, ibaratnya kalian nggak mau pakai nggak mau punya warehouse sendiri karena mahal gitu. Jadi kalian kayak oke, kita outsource tapi untuk warehouse-nya nih kayak gitu. Makanya di sini ada ekstra ya. Kalau kalian punya warehouse sewaan gitu. Jadi di sini ada perbedaan harganya. Nanti bisa dicek. Ini nanti aku share ke kalian juga. Oke, itu please tolong dibaca dulu. Nanti kalau ada pertanyaan baru boleh tanya sama aku. I think that's all. Udah mau jam 10. Sorry ya. Taking your extra time.